There we go. Now I'm unmuted. Beautiful, wonderful, great. Hello, how are ya? How's it going? What are you doing today? Rabid Wombat. Hello. Conserve liberalism. Second, it was close. It was close. You almost got there. Unicorn Exhaust, if you're still in chat on Kick side, love you. Love to see you. Good to see all of you. Spicy Cannon Fodder, I think you are third, yes. In the Twitch sphere, at least. You are third. I'm going to give it a few minutes. I went live just a smidge early. Going to let everyone kind of wander in a little bit before we get started proper. Temperate Takes on YouTube chat. Nice to see you, Cheeky Banter. How's it going? What's going on? Well, we're going to talk about some stuff. We are going to go over a few things, a few ideas that have been percolating around in my brain. Not ideas so much as theories, considerations, meditations, if we want to go scholastic about it, right? And I think that I need to kind of talk about this. I'm sorry for those of you who are tired of the content about Israel and Palestine. That's all that's on my mind right now. I can't think of anything else. It is what I want to talk about. It is what I want to address because this is an ongoing situation. About an hour ago, the ground invasion started, right? I believe about an hour ago, right? We will see what happens there. We will see. The foreshadowing, the signs up to this have not been good. All signs point to a horrific catastrophe in the making that we are going to be seeing before our very eyes. It is going to be something that is cheered on by certain segments of our population, and that is also a horror and something we should stand against. If on either side of this, you are cheering on what is happening, then you need to take a step back and reconsider. You've gone too far. This is too much. We're going to talk about that today, right? We're going to talk about the level of misinformation that has been going on in online spaces, online spheres. Just rampant amounts of narrative, counter-narrative, fact-checking, counter-fact-checking, using any means and all means necessary to try to be right, pulling up Syrian war footage and pretending it's Gazan war footage, using AI-generated photos to try to prove your points. It's a problem, and we're going to talk about that. This is going to be something we are going to be discussing. No cheering, only sadness. I mean, there are positives in this, right? We have seen some positive things, and I'll tell you what those are. That's in the amount of people who have shown that they unabashedly support the civilians on both sides. There are people who are pro-Israel. There are people who are pro-Palestine who have done the right thing and vociferously condemned the atrocities that their own side commits, right? There are plenty of those out there. That should be white-pilling to you. That should give you hope that people haven't lost their humanity entire. But we're going to be talking today a lot about some of the louder voices in this. Some of the people who have not been condemning, but excusing their own side's atrocities because they feel it's necessary. What choice do we have is the refrain. What choice do the Palestinians have other than to let Hamas be their warriors and go in and wage war by any means necessary? What choice does Israel and the IDF have but to go in and level homes, right? Level residential areas with carpet bombing and etc. What choice do we have? What would you have us do? is the refrain, is the cry. And they come from a place in a lot of cases of actual hurt, of actual pain, of seeing their friends, their families, their loved ones, the people they care about being killed over and over again, right? Both sides have horror stories that they can tell, atrocities that they can point to, issues that they can look at and they can see and they can be like, this is why I hate the other team and this is why I want them dead. And I think it's justified to want them dead. An eye for an eye. It's a tale as old as time. It is a very human thing, but it's also a monstrous thing at the same level. I think that what this has revealed in many of us is the monster that lurks inside us all, right? Some of us deny it, but it's there anyway. The wanting to hurt, the wanting to kill, to destroy, to tear down, to be unleashed upon the enemy and to spare not. No quarter. This is a very human thing, but it is a very monstrous thing, and it lurks in all our hearts. The best of us recognize it and fight against it. The worst of us give in entirely. I've struggled on how to kind of address this topic. I've struggled on where to begin. I know we've talked about it in call-ins. I know we've talked about it in a panel format, but I wanted to talk to you, my dear viewer, about it, about my thoughts as well. The problem here is that we are all coming at this from different places, and we are in different spheres. Not to be Brittany Simon, but we all have our bubbles, right? We have the people around us, and it is fair to say that depending on who's around you, you're going to be hearing more of one side than the other, right? Like, so if you're surrounded by a bunch of people who are pro-Israel, you are going to, just again, by dint of who you surround yourself with, hear a lot more of the glass Gaza kind of takes, right? So you are going to hear a lot of that. If you surround yourself with people who are pro-Palestine, you are going to hear, again, by dint of those you surround yourself with, a lot of people cheering on Hamas. A lot of people chanting, free Palestine, fuck Israel, no, there's no civilians, there's only settlers, they're all targets, right? You're going to hear a lot of that. And so it can be a struggle to get an honest picture, right? For the average person, for me included, right? I struggle with this all the time. I don't want to pretend, I don't want you all thinking I don't struggle with this, right? This is something I see all the time. That I have to actively fight against this cognitive bias, as well as the bias of my bubble, the bias of those I surrounded myself with, kind of seeping in and informing my takes, informing my perspective, informing my thoughts. It is something we struggle against. It's something we have to kind of recognize and kind of take into consideration when we move forward on these things. It is a problem. That said, I think we do have to reckon with the monsters on our own side. And that's why today I wanted to talk about two things. We're going to talk about the misinformation that's going on. And the second thing we're going to talk about, the left, specifically the far left, has an anti-Semitism problem, and we need to address it. I want to be very clear with who I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about normies. I'm excluding those. I'm not talking about the people who are on Twitter just being like, oh my God, this is horrible. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who are the heads of DSA chapters, the heads of Black Lives Matter chapters. I'm talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who are the morning after October 7th got in their cars, drove onto the streets with their Palestinian flags, honking and cheering, waving and shouting, free Palestine, free Palestine, gas the Jews, fuck Israel. I'm talking about those people, okay? I'm talking about those individuals. So when we look at it, it's not a very large group, but it is a loud group, and it does need to be reckoned with. It does need to be addressed. And I know that some of you aren't going to believe me. You're just not. You're going to say, well, those are just crazies on Twitter. Or, there's so few of them, they don't matter. You're wrong. They do matter. They need to be called out. They need to be exposed. These aren't just nobodies. They are people who have infiltrated positions of academia and power and are pulling on the influences, on the levers of influence that they have access to. And they are seeking for more. They are seeking for more access to power. And they won't stop until they get it. And we need to talk about it, and we need to expose these people, and we need to show them for what they are so that we will know and that we will remember. One of the things that has happened that, if we can call it positive, is that it has masked off for a lot of people who they are. It's hard because I feel like a naive dupe. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like a naive dupe. And it fucking sucks. I thought surely this is being overplayed, because this is something I've heard, right, from various circles, right, for a long time. But I was like, no, that's silly. That's kind of a conspiracy. That's just kind of, that's just the nobodies on Twitter, right? No one takes them seriously, etc. Yeah, I said it. I was wrong. I fucked up. I'm sorry, gang. I'll also, when I fuck up, I will tell you. I will admit it. I'm sorry. I was duped. I was fooled, and it sucks because I really did believe it. I really did believe that there weren't that many people like that out there. Right? I like, there maybe one or two, right? You can give me one or two. Man. And part of the horror of all this in these last few days, that does play into it for me, and it is personal for me. And I know I'm not trying to center myself here, right? I'm not trying to say that it's all about me. Obviously not, right? But it does matter. What I feel does matter to me, and so I'm going to talk about it with you, my dear viewers. It's just going to happen. I want to talk about it, and I need to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it with you. I hope it's not too boring. I hope it's not too, it is what it is. There are a lot of people who are also waking up to this. There are people who are disavowing, leaving the DSA, leaving other things like that, because they recognize that this is happening. It's not just me that is seeing this mask off thing and being horrified. I remember the night it occurred, right? I remember being up on Twitter, just scrolling, like whatever. I was kind of insomniac, right? So I'm up late a lot, and I'm just scrolling through Twitter. I'm looking at my feed. I'm like, suddenly seeing the most horrific images. And I follow a lot of pro-Palestine accounts, right? I follow a lot of leftist accounts. And heartening that 90% of them in the aftermath of this had the correct take, right? Whether you're pro-Israel, pro-Palestine, doesn't matter. The correct take to seeing all this is, that's horrible and nothing justifies this, right? 90%, right? So a good chunk had the correct take. But, well, gang, we got to talk about that 10%. We got to talk about that 10%. And we got to talk about the, I'd say, significantly higher percent that has run cover for that 10%. Because I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. I do. Some people, I don't know why, I can guess, and we'll talk about that. They're allergic to having this kind of internal reckoning that I think we need to have. Like, I start talking about the left's problem with anti-Semitism, and they shy back like Gollum has... Sunlight has touched Gollum, and they're like, it burns me. We can't talk about this. We have to cover it and hide it in darkness, in the shadows. Else they will be revealed, and all will be revealed. And I think that there is a fear that this will kind of hurt their movement, that it will hurt the causes that they do care about if they acknowledge the fact that some of the people that care about those same causes or are involved in their same causes or are in their same spaces are anti-Semites, that they feel that this will hurt their causes, and so they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to see it, right? They close their eyes and cover their ears. La 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 la. We're going to ignore this. They tell themselves this is just a small minority. The other side has far bigger problems with it, so we shouldn't even address this. We should keep it in the shadows, tuck it away, hide it, sweep it under the rug, and never talk about it, right? And we've done this for a long, long time. And that stuff we swept under the rug, it's festering. It's growing. That Band-Aid we put over that cut, it's getting gangrenous. It's getting to be a problem. And this whole event has exposed the severity of this problem. I don't want to overplay my hand here. I think that, again, I want to be clear with the numbers we're talking about. I'm not talking about 10% of the American population. Absolutely not. I'm talking about the people. The 10% I'm talking about is the people who are among the group, who are politically active, who went to the streets to chant Free Palestine, right? A significantly smaller number of people we're talking about, right? Like, we're talking about, like, not even 1%, I would say, of the population. I'm guessing here, right? But I just want to emphasize how small of a percent, right, this is. Of those people, most of them are dialogue tree people, right? They haven't really thought about their position. They're going out to just... It's nice. They like protest as sport, right? It's a fun outing. It's a nice day out. You get to see your friends, take some selfies, post to Twitter, look at the good thing I did. I'm not talking about those people, right? Like, most of those people, 60%, 70% of the people who came out, I would guess are those people, right? It just is. It's in any group, any kind of a activist group, you're going to have a lot of those people. There are some true believers, right? Who really do worry about the, I would call them the anti-Zionists, right? The ones who aren't using it as a dog whistle for anti-Semitism, but the actual, like, Netanyahu's got to go, right? Netanyahu is a war criminal who is not being held accountable, and we have to take him to account. And the horrors he's going to level on Palestine are cannot be borne, and we need to bring this to light. I would say that 40% of that group who's going out is probably that 30% of that is the true believers. Absolutely. I have no problems with them, by the way. Like, people ask me all the time, are you pro Israel or are you pro Palestine? Bro, I'm pro not killing civilians. I'm anti war crime. I'm anti taking hostages in order to use them as human shields. I'm anti preventing my own people from digging wells so that we have no access to water. I'm anti cutting off food, water, and electricity to a whole city. I'm anti shooting grandma in the back of the head. I'm anti all these things, okay? So pro-Israel, pro-Palestine, I don't know, but I'm anti all that, okay? Let's make that clear, okay? I think yeah, it's not hard. Like, there was this person on Twitter earlier today, who tweeted out, tagged me in Not So Erudite, okay? Tagged me in on Not So Erudite, and they were like, oh, are you going to condemn Israel for what it's going to do in Gaza? Are you going to condemn the war crimes of Netanyahu? Are you going to condemn, right? You were so quick to bully Frogan. Now it's your turn. You got to condemn these war crimes. Bro, easiest thing in the world. Yeah, I condemn them. Simple. I don't have to make excuses. I know I don't need to couch that into like, well, actually, it's kind of justified because of what Hamas is doing. I don't need to do any of that. I can cut that shit out. I'm not an ideologue. I can just say, yeah, war crimes are bad. What Netanyahu, fuck Netanyahu. Fuck what he's doing, right? To the people of Gaza. That's inhumane, it's unconscionable, and it's immoral. Easy peasy. This person, I don't know if they thought they were going to get a gotcha on me. Like, I don't think they understood the idea of being able to condemn the bad things that on the side she thought I was. Because, again, I'm not pro-Israel. I'm not pro-Palestine. I'm pro not killing civilians. That's my team. It was just wild to me. That has been a problem, right? That has been a problem. And this is what kind of really bothered me about the whole thing. Because I don't think all the people doing this are anti-Semites, by no means, right? But I worry about how many of them are. And let me be very clear what I mean, right? If you can't just say, yes, Hamas is a horrific institution, it's a horrific organization who victimizes Palestinians and murders. It wants to exterminate the Jews in Israel. Without, if you can't just say that, like, especially after the 7th, right? If you have to, like, couch it in, well, yeah, Hamas is bad, but let's talk about Israel and all the war crimes Israel has done. Did you know that Israel did this, X, Y, and Z? If you have to do that, I'm super suspicious of you at this point, right? Like, I don't know what you're doing, but you're sus. I don't know what other word to use. You're very suspicious. It's super easy just to say Hamas is a terrorist organization and is bad and horrific. You don't need to couch it in qualifiers. You don't need to do any of that. You could just say it. Hamas is bad and evil. Did you guys see the Leftovers podcast, right? With Hassan and Ethan? And I think that dichotomy at play, right? I'm not talking about look, Ethan, why did you apologize? You did nothing wrong. Ethan, come on. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. You've been on a W streak for a while. Why are you apologizing to these people? That's some stupid shit. That's retarded. Don't do that. They asked me to apologize too, I was tagged and asked to apologize to Frogren. No, I said what I said. If the morning after October 7th, you tweet something out like, oh, this is what revolution looks like, right? Oh, now that it's revolution, you're pro-revolutionary, but as soon as it happens in the Middle East, you're suddenly against it. If you tweet that kind of shit out, yeah, I got some questions for you, okay? I got some questions. We should have a talk. We should discuss this because that's a problem, right? When your ideology blinds you to tragedy and pain, and no, tragedy isn't the word. Atrocity. Atrocity is the word. When you cannot recognize and show compassion to victims of an atrocity, of a massacre like this at this scale on the day after, and you have to use it to try to be like, this is just what decolonization looks like, losers. What did you think it would be? Voting? Ha ha ha. If you have to say shit like that, yeah. It makes me wonder. I got questions. I don't know what else to say, right? And then people mad that I'm bullying her for this, right? Like I'm. How dare you ask an Arab person, someone wearing a hijab, to denounce terrorism? Don't you know how racist that is? Man, I'm not going to every Muslim I know, right, and asking them to denounce this. Most of them just did it, right? Because they're human fucking beings. No, I'm going to the people who've been saying some fucked up shit and kind of running cover for it if not outright celebrating and excusing it, that's who I'm going to ask this question, because it is a question. I don't know. I don't actually know. But I can see some of you think this is just Twitter stuff. So I got some stuff for you. I got a collection that I've gathered that people have helped me gather. I got a collection, and we're going to go through it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to show it on screen, right? I'm going to demonstrate this, right? Because it's easy to talk about how the left has an anti-Semitism problem. And people will be like, oh, you're just saying that because you're just saying any criticism of Israel is anti-Semitism. No. I want you guys to watch this. I want you guys to look. I want you guys to listen and hear. I don't know what to tell you. Here, let me, give me a minute. I'm a boomer. Let me get it up. Ladies. No, but let me make sure I can show you just a few of these, that have happened. Let me, give me a moment. Oh, let me pause it. I don't want you guys, Here, I had this all set up. Okay, here we go. Okay, I want you guys to watch this, okay? I believe this was taken in Britain, but I'm not sure. And thank you for the sub, by the way. I could use your money. That would help. Let's watch. These are photos of the people who were kidnapped by Hamas.
Outrageous. This is fucking outrageous.
What's outrageous?
You.
Why don't you do something for Palestine? Why don't you do it? This is for Palestine. Who the hell for Palestine?
They're ripping them off the wall again.
Children in Palestine.
They're ripping them off the wall. These are the people who were kidnapped on October 7th, right? When Hamas broke into Israel, took a bunch of hostages. These are pictures of those hostages. That's what this is, right? That's what it is. Like, why are you tearing these down? If you listen to the soundbite, right, they're saying, well, you don't care about the children of Palestine, so we're just going to fuck you, right? Like, we're going to tear these down. That's what they say. One of the viewers asked them, why don't you do something for Palestine? They're like, we are. This is a thing. Like, there are more videos of this, but this is just one that I wanted to show you, okay? Let me get to some more videos. Let's make it a little more clear for you, okay? Boom, boom, boom. I think we've all seen this photo, but it bears repeating, right? At I know this is only one person, right? But this is a problem, okay? I'm not going to take too long on that one. Okay, here's one. Here's one that's pretty bad.
I think.
Here, let me, for you guys. I want you to watch. I want you to listen, okay? Can you guys hear these, by the way? Can you guys hear these? I hope you can.
I think that we should all give an applaud right now to Hamas for a job well done. When they woke up in the morning and they found the field hands in the house with a knife ready to cut their fucking throats. I was late to the news, but when I heard it, I smiled.
When I heard it, I smiled. Everyone is cheering. Everyone is clapping. This happened in Philadelphia, okay? October 8th. So the morning after, the day after. This is a fucking problem. This is a fucking problem. It's not over.
I don't want to hear that bullshit. 250 innocent Israelis are dead. Fuck them! Again, I swear, I salute Hamas. A job well done.
I want to paint it here in America and in the West that what happened yesterday was terrorism. What happened yesterday was freedom fighters fighting for freedom. And I want to make one point. Every person that died yesterday was not innocent. It's our job here in the West to wake people up. It's our job to show people who the real terrorists. It's our job to show and fight.
Damn, gang. Damn. What? I'm laughing because if I don't laugh at this, I will cry. What is going on? Why can't we just... Why are people so allergic to calling this out? Why? Because I'm talking about this, we can't just like being like, yo, this is a fucking problem. There's more, but let's this is a lot, okay? Give me a second. Give me a second. I heard this before, right? But it hits ya. Yo! Like, not just the people saying that shit, but the people cheering it on. And then the people who are running cover for it currently, right now, saying, oh no, this is just a minority, this isn't a problem, please don't talk about it, please, oh my god, don't bring attention to this, don't talk about it, please don't highlight this, oh my god, there are much more worse, shouldn't we be talking about Israel right now, oh my god, please ignore this, please, I beg you. We are going to talk about Israel. Do not worry. We will get to those motherfuckers. We will get to the IDF. We will get to Netanyahu. I promise you. But today, we are talking about the left's anti-Semitism problem. And that's what we're going to be talking about, okay? We have to talk about it. We have to discuss it. There are people in the coming days, and the reason I'm showing you this, because you need to remember that there are people in the coming days, in the months that will come, that will say this never happened. They will say this was all overblown. They will say this was just like after 9/11, okay? When they all drummed up these excuses for war and et cetera. Nah. That's not what this is. Like, most of those people who are going to tell you that weren't even alive then, or they were 3. I was in college when 9/11 happened, okay? I was in a computer class in my college, Easy A, by the way, when I saw the planes hit the Twin Towers. I was cognizant. I was an adult when this happened. I know what went down. I know how it was, okay? I'm not an expert, obviously, right? I was young, but yeah, this ain't that. This ain't that. There are substantive differences here in this response. Now, maybe if we had social media back then, the response might have been the same. I cannot say that because, again, I don't know. But the way it's being handled today with the left just cheering is substantively different. And again, I want to be very careful with my language. It's not the left as a whole. Most 90% of the people on the far left and the leftists and stuff had the correct take. Like, both sides bad, right? But we're also going to talk about that because that's true, but it's misleading, right? But we'll get to it. We'll get to it. No, man, this ain't 9/11. This is substantively different. This response isn't just what, like, oh, we were led into a false war, right? Like, no, this isn't manufactured WMDs or anything like that, right? This isn't manufactured intelligence. We all saw this. We all saw what happened. Like, Hamas has been victimizing the Palestinian people for decades. This is not something we're just waking up to, right? Like, this is something we know. Let's get to the next one though. Let me see. Oh, here's a shorty but a goodie. Okay, you're gonna have to watch. There's not much to hear here, but it's indicative. And again, this list isn't exhaustive. This is just the stuff that I found, like, in the minimal amount of research I did. Research work, I should say. But here we go. I want you to notice this person right here, okay? Watch. They're talking about Boo-hoo-hoo. Boo-hoo-hoo. All the murdered Jews. Boo-hoo-hoo. Watch it again. Watch it again. Worth replaying. It's short. I laugh because if I don't, I'll cry, gang. I'm not kidding. What are... Here's another one. This is in Australia, gang. Not the Middle East. Okay, we don't need to see that one again. I think that was enough of that one. Soak it in. Give it a minute. And you were right to ask, oh, how do we know they're all leftists? We don't, right? But I'm talking about who I know are leftists, or who say they are, at least. Thought leaders, right? Like, after all this, excusing it or running cover for it. What's the difference between someone who runs cover for a Nazi versus a Nazi? There's a difference, but it's still wrong and it's still bad. And once again, I want to point to these rallies again that are throughout the West, throughout America, throughout the world, spontaneously erupting, celebrated, in many cases, by thought leaders on the left. Excused by thought leaders on the left. You have people in positions of academic authority and power saying things like, this is what decolonization looks like. Or, there are no civilians in Israel, only settlers. The left has an anti-Semitism problem. It's not all the left. It's not most of the left. But it's a problem. We have trouble calling out extremists on our own side, and it needs to stop. We need to be able to clearly and effectively and with all the moral clarity in the world say, if you are running cover for those types of people and you are using that kind of language and rhetoric and you are cheering right after, before the bodies are even cold, then you may have some anti-Semitism to deal with, right? You may have some internalized anti-Semitism that you need to get rid of. You need to address it. You need to talk about it. You need to search yourself. Again, we are not talking about people who are anti-Zionist. People who are anti-Israel is a different question. It's a different conversation, right? Everyone in the world should condemn Netanyahu's war crimes, right? Everyone in the world should condemn it. It sucks that they don't. That's a problem too. We'll get to that. That's for another day. But if we are going to hold people to account for running cover and for their own actions, we need to hold everyone to account. Let's talk about Israel and Palestine. there are so many people who I've talked about with this who say things like, well, Israel is responsible for all of this. Israel is responsible for all this. And gang, they have somewhat of a point. Like, if Israel hadn't treated the Palestinians in such horrific conditions, Hamas might not have any power today. It's true. But we can't stop there. The conversation doesn't and shouldn't stop there. Because the Palestinian leadership also is responsible for what is happening. They also share blame. And I'm going to go even further. As bad as the IDF is, Hamas is worse. If we cannot acknowledge that simple fact, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, your moral clock is broken. Hamas. A thought exercise for those of you who don't believe me. Because I can see already some of you don't believe me. Thought exercise for you. Hamas and other jihadists famously use human shields in order to make their enemies hesitate, right? There is a reason that they hide amongst the civilian population, that they set up in schools and warehouses, that they fire rockets from homes, from apartment buildings, from schools, from hospitals, universities. There's a reason they do this, because they know that the IDF in the West will hesitate to some degree. And let's be clear, the IDF doesn't hesitate enough. They don't use care enough. Again, we'll get to that. But it does give them pause, right? Okay. I want you to imagine, if you will, the roles being reversed. Say Israel, IDF, put their human shields, their women and children. They use the women and children as their human shields. I want you to imagine Hamas coming in and the IDF putting their women and children first in front of them to use them as shields. I want you to picture in your mind what happens in that scenario. What is done in that scenario? What you should be imagining, if you are at all intellectually honest, okay, what you should be imagining is a farcical scene of every single Jew dying. Hamas would not hesitate for a second to pull that trigger. That is what they want. They would be like, thanks, bro, and they would gun them down. No hesitation. No, not even a pause. They would celebrate, cheer, parade it through the streets. We cannot say these groups are the same. We cannot say the group that would hesitate to pull the trigger so not to kill civilians, right, is the same as a person who would celebrate pulling the trigger because they get to kill civilians. These are not morally equivalent. Stop. My God. If you believe they are the same, get your shit checked. That's not to say that there are radicals and racists on Israeli side who would absolutely enjoy killing Palestinians. But that is a different thing, and it is a different problem. And they often, right? I saw a video. I'll give you an example. I saw a video on Twitter. I don't have this pulled up, unfortunately. I should have. Of an Israeli IDF soldier bragging about killing and raping Palestinians. Horrific. He was sent to jail for that. He was sent to jail for that. For years. There was punishment. That's the difference. Look, Netanyahu is a monster. But when we talk about Israel, Netanyahu has been in power, since 96, 98, maybe a little later than that. No, it's been later than that. last 10 years, man, I get my dates wrong. But not every Israeli government is the same. There have been, like, I don't know if you are all old enough to remember Yasser Arafat and Rabin shaking hands. Like, there was some... If a path to peace is to come, it has to come through Israel and through Palestine. Both. Both have responsibility. Both hold power. Like, people say all the time that they're, oh, well, the Israelis have all the power, the Palestinians have none, so that's the only thing that matters. That's stupid. Dare I say, retarded. Because the Palestinians do have power to an extent. They can accept or reject peace offers by the Israelis. And, what do you know? They often, their leadership, to be clear, often rejects it. They veto it. When peace gets close, the extremists try to sabotage it by blowing shit up, blowing people up, doing as many atrocities as they possible because they know it's going to break the peace accords. And again, Israel is not innocent in this. Israel has done some war crimes, straight up atrocities, and they should be held to account for it. But they are not the same as Hamas. Israel, the IDF, has given 24 hours, or gave 24 hours for Gaza, the city of Gaza, the northern strip, to evacuate. That's by far not enough time. That was a horrific thing. It was a catastrophe waiting to happen. But they dropped millions of I don't know about millions, but lots of leaflets, thousands at least of leaflets, right? Fall from the sky telling the civilians to get out, to go south, to get away from the city, right? To get to safety. They didn't give them enough time. They should be held to account for that. That's horrific. But let's look at what Hamas did. Hamas said, no, they're lying to you. That's not true. That's just Zionist propaganda. Stay in your homes. We heard on my show yesterday, someone who I had to kick off for saying this, that any civilian who flees should be killed because they are traitors. These are not the same. They are both evil, but they are not the same. There is no moral equivalence between Israel and her enemies. Let us make that very clear. $10 from Fancy Teeth. The left has an issue with coming to terms with the fact that those without power can be just as evil as those with power. I blame this on romanticizing a struggle narrative. It's a lot of it. A lot of it. I don't disagree. Again, we can condemn Israel. It's easy to condemn Israel's atrocities when they do atrocities. But we cannot pretend that they are the same as Hamas. They are not. Hamas is a unique horror. And it galls me. It galls me to see the people who get up in their feels when you quote tweet them because you're bullying them, and how much of a crazy monster you are because you called them a retard. Just excuse Hamas, who has said that they want to exterminate all the Jews of Israel. They are more angry that I am being mean face to their content creator, daddy, mommy, whoever, who said some fucked up shit on Twitter, than they are about Hamas butchering and murdering 1,200s of Israeli citizens, and then making sure that they keep as many Gazans at home so that they can pump up those war crime numbers in order to, like, they're using their people as pawns, and it's gross. What do you mean I haven't named a single lefty thought leader? The head of the DSA, the head of the BLM chapter of Chicago. There's two for you right off the top of my fucking head. Boom. Easy. We can name Frogan, right? That's a thought leader, right? I don't know about that. We could talk about Hassan, right? Hassan is running cover for this. There you go. There's some names. I'm naming them. You gotta pretend oh, Second Thought's a good one too. There's a lot. Oh, no, they're not really thought leaders. Gang, they just have millions of, thousands of followers, and a lot of people listen to them. They're influential in politics, but they're not thought leaders, right? They're not an elected politician. Shut the fuck up. Get out of here with that shit. Stop hiding behind these cowering rocks. Just call it the fuck out. Just say Hamas is evil. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. You don't have to like or love Israel. You don't have to support Israel. You don't have to. All you gotta do is say Hamas is evil. Why is that so hard? Why are you struggling? Why are you struggling? What is going on? What is going on? This isn't hard. This is the lowest bar. The single lowest bar you have to clear possible. I don't understand. Why am I reading? Because it's fucking crazy. Because it's fucking crazy. It makes me angry. And I'm a passionate man. That's why I'm reading. Okay? That's why I'm reading. That's why I'm mad. It's because these people running cover have set back good, honest causes for fucking decades. It's not just me. There are a lot of people who are seeing this and the response to this and are disgusted and will never listen. And they paint with too broad of a brush. They're painting most leftists as this. That's wrong. That's incorrect. But that's also part of my anger is because I understand why they're doing this. They're seeing this and they don't want to. They're like, oh, well, fuck them all. Fuck them all then. And that's a very human thing. Oh, God, I hate it. Let's watch another thing, shall we? This is what Hamas is teaching the children of Gaza.
لأنه نعمل حرب إنه نفرجن اليهود إنه إحنا لأنه نعمل حرب إنه نفرجن اليهود إنه إحنا مش إنه إحنا مش شاطرين إحنا قوايا كمان. في ناس بحبوا فلسطين بدهم يحاربوا وبضحوا بدمهم عشان فلسطين. أنا بدي أهزمهم بالحرب. بدي أهزمهم.
بيعلمونا انه الاقصى النا والنا يعني الحق يعني النا فلسطين والاراضي كلها النا لانهم بسبب كذبهم وانتهاكاتهم انهم يقولون انه الهيكل تحت المسجد الاقصى ولا مره انه يكون الهيكل تحت المسجد الاقصى.
أنا بقرأ اليهود.
بعلمونا ان الصهيونيه هم اعدائنا وهم اهم شيء لازم يسوي فيهم عمليه.
يعني انهم بيعلمونا بالمدرسه انهم ارهابيين
بيحكوا لنا عن اليهود انهم هدول مش منيح وهدول بقتلوا قاعدين بشبابنا. بيحكوا لنا هدول غدارين وبيحكوا لنا انه هدول بغدرونا وهدول مش منيح. اذا بطعن بدعس عليهم. عمل عمليات. كيف يعني؟ الدعس. عمليات الدعس عمليات الطعن والاشتباك المسلح في المخيمات.
ايش اكيد هدول العمليات ترفع الراس ولفلسطين. العمليات هاي تاعت الدعس والسكاكين هاي اشي بيرفع الراس لفلسطين.
اذا بدك بطلع بستشهد عادي. انا ان شاء الله اساعد الشباب وان شاء الله اصير مقاوم بالمستقبل مع الدولة الإسلامية.
I don't know what to say. The subtitles are false. I'm not Arabic. Yo, is there any Arabic speakers in my chat or that are following me or see this? If this is wrong, if this is made up, please tell me, and I will retract that part. I don't believe it. I mean, not now. Like this. Oh, so Arab speakers in my chat are confirming. Okay, fair enough. What can we do but denounce this? What can we do? But if that isn't evil, I don't know what is. Teaching a kid that they must kill another group to bring glory to their people. If that's not evil, what is? It's a serious question. If that's not evil, what is? They're being taught this. All your problems are because of the Jews. Specifically, Israeli Jews. Sometimes not specifically. Let's be clear. Sometimes they don't differentiate. We can talk about the evils of the IDF. We can talk about how putting them in the largest open-air prison in the world, depriving them of food and water, cutting off their electricity, being cruel, gutting them down. In the March of Return in 2018, Israeli forces, IDF forces, gunned down 200 plus civilians. That was a horror. That was an atrocity. But the conversation can't stop there. It cannot. We have to talk about the atrocities that Hamas and the Palestinian leadership has shown to its people and to the Israelis as well. We have to. If you only talk ever about one side, you are running cover for the other. Is this a hard or difficult concept for anyone? Is this difficult to grasp? I don't know. I'm sorry, gang. I'm just I know I'm reading a little bit. I know I'm emotional, but what can you do? It's a problem. Yeah, I don't know. Like, how do we fix it? Like, how do you fix Israeli-Palestine's problems? I don't know. People will pretend it's easy or there's a simple solution. Oh, Israel just needs to stop doing these atrocities. That's not going to solve it. Hamas doesn't care about the atrocities. They want the Jews dead. They don't care. They literally do not care about their people. They want the Jews dead. Israel could be the kindest, gentlest, most welcoming nation in the world. It would not matter. Hamas wants them dead. Both sides have responsibility, and both sides deserve better leadership. Put it simply, right? The Hamas and the Palestinian Authority has failed its people. It's failed Palestine. Failed it. It's been a horror. Netanyahu failed his people. Failed his people. There's some good news. A ray of sunshine. Most of Israel agrees with me on that bit. I think over 50% have called on Netanyahu to step down immediately, to resign. 92% blame Netanyahu for the security failure, and it was a massive security failure. There is that. That is a good sign. Well, what will come of that, I'm not sure. Yeah, there aren't two sides. There are like four sides at least. I'm trying to simplify it. We'll talk about Iran. We'll talk about Hezbollah. We'll talk about all those other people too. Look, on the Jordanian border, last night, or I guess their morning, our last night, right? thousands of Jordanians wanted to join the Intifada, right? They wanted to join the jihad against the Jewish state and tried to break across the border. Jordanian forces had to forcibly stop them, okay? That's the level we're at here. It is a boiling point. People keep asking me, are you pro-Israel or are you pro-Palestine? I'm anti-war crime. I'm anti using civilians as human shields. I'm anti bottling up a whole people and cutting off access to their food and water and electricity. I'm anti gunning down a bunch of civilians trying to break out of the wall. I'm anti breaking into Israel and killing 1,200 Jews. That's what I'm anti, okay? Get out of here with your pro-Israel, pro-Palestine bullshit. No. No. Stupid question at this point. Man. 𝕾𝖍𝖎. If it is really bothering you, remember that most of the people voicing opinions like that are online are 1, young and very stupid, and 2, an extreme minority, especially in the US. I understand they are a minority, absolutely, 100%. But I don't know if they're as a minority as people are making out to be. I worry. I worry that there is a bigger slice of the pie that they have than we would like to think. They are spreading all over colleges and public squares. Someone tweeted out, a Jewish individual tweeted out, that it was being on a college campus this past week has been a horror movie. Has been like living in a horror movie. It is. A lot of these rallies that are popping up that are pretty horrific, chanting things like Intifada, Intifada, that are pro-Hamas, like unapologetically pro-Hamas, not even hiding it pro-Hamas. Most of those rallies have been on campuses. They're, oh, baby gang, I got you something. Let me get that article back up. Let me show you, because we got to read this. We got to go through this. This is a thing. First of all, $10 from Cheeky Banter. Keep your head up, fam. This is a terrible event happening. I know you emotionally invested. Support your dog. Hashtag anti-terrorism. Based. Thank you, Cheeky, for the $10. Gang, money does make me feel better, so thank you for that. If you want to give me more money, I will feel better. But yeah, let me get up the what I want to show you here. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm getting sent more stuff. I'll get to that. But I wanted to show you this. A moment, please. Let me pull it up. Get it. And yeah. I know I'm a boomer. Give me a second. I know I'm a boomer. You don't have to make fun of me. You don't have to make fun of me. Oop, wrong one. Let me adjust this. See if we can make this. There we go. Stanford and I've confirmed this, gang. Like, this is something I looked up because I didn't believe it when I read it. I was like, no way this would happen. But I went through it. I verified it. Yeah, this happened. Stanford instructor removed for targeting Jewish students as colonizers after Hamas attack on Israel. An instructor at Stanford University has been suspended for what the president and provost called identity-based targeting of students in connection with the Israeli-Gaza war. Rabbi Dov Greenberg, director of the Chabad Stanford Jewish Center, said he was told by 3 students who were in the room that the instructor asked Jewish and Israeli students to identify themselves during a session for a required undergraduate course called Civil, Liberal, and Global Education. The teacher told the Jewish students to take their belongings, stand in a corner, and said, "This is what Israel does to the Palestinians." Greenberg said, citing the student accounts. The instructor then asked, how many people died in the Holocaust? When a student answered 6 million, the lecturer said, colonizers killed more than 6 million. Israel is a colonizer. There's more to it, right? They investigated and the call-outs and all that, right? Can you believe that? Imagine this for a moment, gang. Imagine it for a moment. Please, just put yourselves in their shoes for but a minute. Let's exercise some empathy here. Let's put ourselves in their shoes. You are an Israeli student. $20 more from Cheeky Banter. Thank you. I feel even better. Yeah, $50 will make my day. Okay, just FYI. Imagine you have family in Israel, okay, right? Or you've lived there in Israel. You're from there in Israel. You may or may not have lost people, okay? 1,200 of your citizens, of your fellows, dead, murdered in gruesome, horrific fashion. Not IDF soldiers, none of that. Civilians, just living their fucking lives. And then some fucking teacher in your fucking college makes you go stand in a corner and identify yourself as an Israeli, right? And saying that you are the monster and the bad guy. Imagine a horror movie, gang. A horror movie. Why? Why are we so... What is going on? What is going on? And then when people like Aristocracy go on Twitter and say, hey, I don't feel safe right now, when people are the morning after, the evening after this horrific attack going out and chanting and cheering in the streets, I don't feel real safe right now. People have the gall to imply she's racist. What are you talking about? Like, it's an Israeli... It's like, man, they're really genociding my people and I feel really unsafe right now. And the internet's like, shut up, white girl. Holy shit. Holy shit. At this point, are you even a human being with human emotions? I don't know. I don't even know what to do. What do you do? What do you do? Everyone around you is cheering on your people being killed. People used to ask, right? And I used to wrestle with this. Like, how could an entire people be okay with the Holocaust, right? With the horrific atrocities done to the Jewish people. Not just during the Holocaust. We got to remember, gang, the Holocaust was the it was the climactic event. It was not the beginning or the end of the persecution and the killing of Jews. That had been happening for centuries. Literally centuries. In the 1800s, right? Russians' pogroms, right? Pogroms, I don't know how to say it, right? Where the Tsar would just literally round up, rape, and kill Jews. That's what they did. Thousands and thousands and thousands. Pogroms, thank you. In France, rape and kill Jews. It was a thing. In most of Europe, anti-Semitism was explosive, right? During that time. The Holocaust was a climactic event. It was a piece of a thing. A very, very, very awful piece of a thing, but a piece. To say that the Holocaust was the beginning and the end of anti-Semitism is just incorrect. And it minimizes the, again, generational persecution of the Jewish people worldwide, globally. Okay? This was a thing. And to have assholes on Twitter call you fucking racist because you're scared that what's happened to your people for fucking generations might happen again is asinine. I'm laughing because if I don't know what I'll do. I'm laughing because if I literally don't know what I'll do. Like, what am I supposed to do here? This is crazy. We cannot run cover for this, okay? We cannot excuse this. We have to vociferously condemn it when it happens. We cannot, through an incorrect assumption that by talking about this that we aren't centering Palestinian voices. Fuck that shit. No. We could talk about both. We should talk about both. It needs to be a conversation that we have. We could talk about the right's anti-Semitism too. Oh, don't worry. We'll get there. But we have to reckon with the things that we have swept under the rugs and kept in the shadows. We have to reckon with the anti-Semitism in our own hearts, in our own people, in our own voices. We have to really look at this, put a lens and a microscope up it, and talk about it. Because if we don't, and we remains in the dark, festering, it will only grow worse. Again, do not mistake me. I'm not talking about people who are anti-Israel. You anti-Israel, you can be, it's easy. It's trivially easy to be anti-Israel and not an anti-Semite. It's trivially, it is the lowest, easiest bar. Well, not the lowest, easiest, but it's one of the lower bars, okay, that you can clear. Very easy. Plenty do it. Plenty do it. 90% of the people who are anti-Zionist aren't anti-Semites. Super easy thing to do. Super easy bar to clear. Trivial. But that 10%, right? That's something we need to discuss. That is something we need to talk about. And we can't pretend it's not there. We got to stop. Because 𝕾𝖍𝖎𝖙, you're right. There are people who, if you are critical of Israel at all, will call you an anti-Semite. We need to stop with that. It is not anti-Semitic to be anti-Israel. It is not anti-Semitic to be pro-Palestine. It's not. How can you look at the horrors that the Palestinians have gone through, that the IDF has inflicted upon them, and not at least somewhat be sympathetic? How? I don't understand that, right? We cannot let our monstrous need to revenge, our bloodthirst take control. We cannot. There are plenty. I want to talk about the Glass Gaza people right now, because that's also something we need to talk about, right? Because I've seen a lot of people who otherwise were anti-war crime, suddenly be okay with it. And that's a problem too. This is exacerbating the monsters within us. Okay? It's feeding the monster within us. We cannot give in to it. We can look at the horrors, recognize them as horrors, and not call for horrors to be inflicted on the other side, nor excuse the horrors inflicted on the other side. We have to stop with that. It's not anti-Semitic. I want to be very, very clear. It's not anti-Semitic to be anti-Israel. It's just not. But there are the actions of people on both sides of this issue who are hiding behind these things, right? They are hiding behind these otherwise defensible positions in order to disguise what they really, really want. Let me tell you what they want. What they really, really want. Spice Girls reference. What they really, really want is just to kill the other side. They hate them. They want them dead. And unfortunately, the people in power, Hamas, Netanyahu, kind of want that. And they are egging this on. Netanyahu is part of Hamas's plan just as much as Hamas is part of Netanyahu's plan. They feed off each other. They need each other. There is a reciprocal radicalization that's happening, right? The sides want the other side to do horrors so that they can point to those horrors and justify the horrors of their own. Bobby Johnson says, bruh, was talking to my mom about it and she's 100% glass Gaza. I was shocked. Yeah, it's horrific. I stand and I call for better angels, and I know that I'm not going to be listened to. My voice is very small. I am not very influential. I am a very, very small fish in a very, very large pond. But I hope that my audience, right? Because I understand. I do get it. I get it. The visceral response you might have, right? The visceral, like, seeing thousands dead and being like, I want someone to pay. Seeing the atrocities of the March of Return, right, in 2018, seeing the IDF gun those people down, and wanting someone to pay for that. Someone's got to pay. I'm hurting, so I have to hurt everyone else. I have to take my pain and inflict it on others in the most grotesque way. I understand that. It's a human thing, but we have to be better. The best revenge is not becoming your enemy. Marcus Aurelius. Innocents on both sides are going to pay the price for monstrous urges on both sides. The monstrous leaders on both sides. Netanyahu, I'm worried about the ground invasion, and let me tell you why. Netanyahu is facing calls to resign. Netanyahu is, again, 92% of Israel blames him, rightly, for this attack. Okay? Netanyahu. I worry, I fear that he will see the only path forward through this is to be the most strong response possible. And I put that in quotes for a reason, okay? Because it's not a strong response. It's a fairly weak response morally, but it's going to be horrific, right? That he is going to want to sate his critics with the blood of Palestinians, that he is going to encourage his generals and the IDF to hold nothing back and perpetrate one of the grossest atrocities that we've ever seen. I worry that that's the path he will choose. Let's remember, Netanyahu ran on, I will keep you safe. These people are dangerous, I will keep you safe. The other people are weak, they will put you in danger, but I can protect you. I am the only one who can protect you. That's shown to be a lie, right? Again, October 7th, deadliest day for Jews since the Holocaust. It was a lie. He was wrong. Fucked up. I'm worrying that he's going to want to kind of overcorrect in the hopes of retaining power. Don't get me wrong, Hamas has to go. Like, look, if they there is a way to respond military in an ethical way, okay? I'm not saying that Israel shouldn't respond at all to this. Please don't mistake me. Hamas needs to go. Hamas needs to be targeted and killed. Straight up. There is a way to do that. I'm not a general by any means. But we've done that before with terrorists, right? We've killed terrorists before. In much more ethical ways than the IDF does, right? Not to say we don't have our own fuck-ups and our own atrocities. That's true too. But let's not pretend that the choices are glass Gaza or do nothing. There's a chasm, a wealth of options between those two choices that we can choose, right? There is a wealth of things that we can do between these two positions of do nothing and glass Gaza, okay? I don't have enough information to tell you what. I can't give you the marching orders. I can't give you the plan, right? But there is a way to militarily respond to this that won't be an atrocity or a war crime. The question becomes, do I trust Netanyahu to do it that way? No. I do not. I do not. Yeah, BB no trust though. I don't trust Netanyahu. Why would I trust Netanyahu? Like, what has he shown, like, to be reasonable or hold back in these things? Like, his rhetoric tells me what I need to know, right? Send the corrupt politicians to Mars? Yeah? Okay. The U.S. will be involved in response as well because U.S. citizens. That's a thing, right? Like, let's talk about that for a minute. What does Biden do in this situation? Hamas has American hostages. If they're not dead already, right? But we confirmed that they took U.S. citizens prisoner. We can't abandon them. That's off the table. I don't know. I don't know what we do. SEAL Team 6 it? Go in? Guns blazing? Maybe. Mixed Vivian Wolf is shit like that, right? Can't we just, like, talk, like, this is why I'm frustrated, okay? Because every time we try to talk about a situation, it seems like there's this dialogue tree that gets triggered. Like, oh, but did you hear Israel is bad? No shit, Israel is bad, okay? Let's talk about this for a minute. You don't need to go off in your propaganda. Cool it for a moment. Cool your jets. Hold your horses. We'll get to it. I promise. I'm not an Israel simp. But we can't just keep running cover for, like, even unintentionally. We can't run cover like this for the bad guys, okay? Even though both groups are bad. Again, I want to reiterate, there is no moral equivalency here. Hamas is worse, 100 times worse. But that doesn't mean that the lesser evil is still evil. Let's be clear. Let me DM someone. Brianna Wu was thinking of calling in, and I'm curious what she has to say on this. Because she's involved in the higher ups and the echelons, and we've talked in private about some of the things she's seen, right? And I want to see if she's well enough. I know she has COVID, but we'll see. Let me give her a DM real quick. If she's not, and she might not be, right? She might be too sick or whatever, and that's fine, right? But yeah, we'll see. What does this mean, like, for Biden's future, right, in 2024? What do you guys think? It's worth considering. It's not our main focus right now. Please, do not mistake. But it is worth considering. It's worth keeping in the back of our heads because this will affect going forward, right? American foreign policy absolutely influences the Middle East. It does. And so it is something to keep in mind because we do need to find a path forward out of this. This cannot continue. I fear it will continue. I fear it will. But if there is a chance for it not to, we have to find a way. Find a path out of this entangled mess we're in. Skill Tree Gaming says, Iraq in fighting terror got Bush reelected after 9/11. But this ain't that, right? Like, again, people keep making these 9/11 comparisons, and I think it's we're just in a different place societally, right? And culturally. As well as this specific attack being much different. First of all, it wasn't on American soil. And as horrific as it was, right? We were in a different time, foreign policy wise. Absolutely, right? So I don't think that's a fair comparison. Okay, yeah, Brianna Wood's a little too sick right now, but that's okay. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Sorry about that, gang. But yeah, it's worth considering. I think that, like, there are people, obviously. Well, this is a good time. This is a good time to talk about the second thing we were going to talk about. I almost entirely forgot it, but we need to talk about it. The absolute state of misinformation on all of this. You guys been on Twitter the last 3 or 4 days? You guys been watching what's happening? The amount of just bullshit that's being thrown out on every side imaginable, right? In some cases, just to stir shit. I have seen more Syrian war footage tried to be passed off as Gazan footage than ever before in my life. You see the old classics of Arma footage being shown as war footage as well. That's a problem. There are reams, mountains of it. It's a problem because if you don't know who to trust, it's easy to be deceived and to have false narratives on either side built to get you ginned up and ready to go. There is an overcorrection also that's happening, though, however, where verified sources are being doubted. And this is part of the problem of all this misinformation, that even verified sources get spun as misinformation. And that's kind of the most insidious form of misinformation there is, right? I don't know if it's the most insidious form. That might be hyperbole. But it's a problem. Let's talk about the dead babies. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Give me a second. I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to just read it to you. Give me a moment. I sent this as a link to a friend because this is a conversation I've had over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I pinned this link somewhere. Give me a second. Bring it up. And we will go through it because the dead babies thing was initially reported on. Then it was debunked. And then it was confirmed. But then it was debunked again. But then it was confirmed again. But then it's confused so many people who have no idea how to kind of deal with this kind of fog of war, right? Who have no idea how to separate the wheat and chaff. So we're going to look at a man by the name of 𝕾𝖍𝖙𝖘𝖍𝖔. He is a war correspondent, a foreign reporter that's worked in the area, has worked with Gaza, who's reported on that for years and years and years. He's a veteran in his field, and he's kind of an expert. I trust his information, and he lays it out fairly well. And so we're just going to go through the thread because it's worth going through. We're going to talk about it. Okay, because this is a thing. Okay, let's talk about it. Oh man, hold on, man. Adjust the settings. Oopsie. Forgive my boomer nature. I know it's hard to see. Let me see if I can make it bigger for you so you can see. Then I'll drag it. Okay, we'll try our best. Okay, I'll read along. And you guys can read along with me. Saying it sounds good? Sounds good. But we'll do our best here. Okay. CBS News now citing a secondary direct source for their reporting that children's bodies were among those found beheaded at Kfar Aza. Forgive my pronunciation, please. I'm going to mispronounce these words. The links to the source confirming it. I won't go there because I'm a boomer. But again, secondary source confirms. 𝕾𝖎𝖙 𝖙𝖘𝖍𝖔𝖜, head of operations of the southern region of Zacca, told CBS reporters that he had personally seen the bodies of beheaded babies. A direct eyewitness first responder. People can now officially stop accusing good reporters on the scene of fabricating this story. 𝕾𝖎𝖙 𝖙𝖘𝖍, the head of operations for the southern region of Zacca, Israel's volunteer civilian emergency response organization, told CBS News on Wednesday that he personally saw adults and children, including babies, who had been beheaded. I am in agreement with my colleagues who said newspapers shouldn't have run with the headline they took from an I-24 reporter before those numbers had been officially confirmed. But the atrocities committed are very real. They happened. By the way, this direct quote was published more than 12 hours ago. Some of the reporters, and this was October 11th, gang, so this has been a while, okay? Some of the reporters on the ground had stood the claim up with two sources before publishing. They did their jobs correctly. Please, nobody thank me for this story. Thank CBS News and the reporters on the ground who sourced this quote and published it. They did their jobs. I'm just the guy who posted it to Twitter. I shouldn't need to add this disclaimer, but for the record and for the avoidance of any doubt, reporters have to be able to operate under the assumption that eyewitnesses are telling the truth to the best of their abilities in situations like this. Eyewitnesses can still be wrong. Sometimes eyewitnesses will even lie. Good reporting only uses these accounts as a starting point for an investigation, not the end point. My point here is that the reporters who published his claim did so based on the testimony they heard on the scene. They didn't lie or fabricate because they are pro-Israel. That's a smear and a lie about good people doing good work in the worst hell imaginable. It now also looks like the IDF have ruled out opening an investigation into these specific claims, given that they consider the testimony and evidence that they have as conclusive to their standards. This, unfortunately, will likely further fuel conspiracy theories about Kfar Aza. This is a tweet. IDF says it will not investigate its claims of babies being beheaded at Kfar Aza because it would be disrespectful of the dead. A spokesperson said testimony of a soldier who handled the bodies is enough evidence. That said, I'm not sure any of those people would accept anything the IDF said on the matter anyway. So later on, and there we have it. CNN are now reporting this is official government position. People who were convinced that Anadal agency had debunked this story look very fucking stupid now. Yeah, CNN confirms it. Not to give this fascist psychopath any publicity, but this categorically has not come from just one source. This lying liar is lying again because whitewashing war crimes is literally all anyone affiliated with his rancid lie factory knows how to do. And Max Blumenthal can't confirm is a lying liar. Okay. The President Biden thing, unfortunately, was kind of a wash. Okay. He had to and we'll talk about that. As soon as I get through this thread, we'll talk about it. Because he talks about it, right? He says President Biden now claims they have seen verified evidence, but then immediately the White House since walked this back, saying that he had received confirmation and had not seen the images. Biden frequently makes these kind of slip-ups in his speech. This now also appears to be a new official IDF line, which means people can now stop sharing the out-of-date statement issued by Anadalo. Jerusalem Post are now confirming the story based on photographic evidence. So we see how this plays out, right? That there is this reporters on the ground trying to do their best to report, giving as honest and accurate as they can. But it's not just being skeptical of the information, but there are people who are actively trying to cast doubt by questioning, right? We have to separate these two groups. It's right and good to be skeptical. Absolutely. It's right and good to be like, well, did that really happen? Let's verify it. And then there are people who will just pick at it, right? Pick at it for any kind of inconsistency they can fabricate or mull up with the express purpose of casting doubt on this situation for their own propaganda purposes. They want you to get you to disbelieve the honest actors, because if they can get you to doubt the honest actors, they win, right? And so they again, people like what's his face? Max Blumenthal, right? Again, lying through their fucking teeth. Jackson Hinkle lying through his fucking teeth, right? And people on the left, for whatever reason, eating it up, right? Just because it rolls with their narrative. We got to be careful with that. Check your sources. Get at least 2. This is my rule for it. I don't share something unless 2 trusted sources that I trust, that have not led me astray in the past, and when they do fuck up, they admit I fucked up, right? Which it happens. If I get 2 of those sources, I'm comfortable retweeting, sharing, running with it, right? That's my rule. You can choose your own. But we cannot let this weaponized doubt, weaponized skepticism cause us to just doubt everything. We have to be able to combat falsehoods with truth. And in order to do that, we have to be able to recognize between truth and falsehoods. We have to be able to recognize between honest actors and liars. Okay? People who will retract when it is shown that they are incorrect are generally honest actors. That happens. Everyone, me included, has at one point or another tweeted false information unsuspectingly, unknowingly. The difference is, when we learn of our fuck up, we walk it back. We oops and take it back. They do not. They double down. They obfuscate. They try to accuse you of swallowing Zionist propaganda, right? They use all the buzzwords, right? This happens on the other side too, no doubt. There are people who will accuse you of oh, you're just a Palestinian pro-Hamas propagandist, blah, 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 blah. That absolutely occurs. This isn't a one-side problem. This is just a problem. This is just a problem, gang. Al Jazeera released a statement last night after the IDF gave Gaza 24 hours to evacuate. Dropped leaflets to tell people. Al Jazeera reported that Hamas was telling people that that was a lie, that it was Zionist propaganda, etc. BBC confirmed it. Confirmed this was happening, right? The Hamas is, again, true to their word, true to their, this isn't like surprising. They're seeking to use their people as human shields by telling them that leaving is Zionist propaganda, not to leave, etc., etc., etc. Still, people were like, well, no, that's just not true. Hamas would never do that. You're just blaming Hamas, right? Why are you blaming Hamas for Israel's ill actions? We have to step out of this ideologue brain, okay? We have to be able to trust sources, right? We have to be able to trust certain institutions. There are institutions, again, they're not perfect, but they're generally strong sources. Al Jazeera, strong source. BBC, strong source, right? we can look at these. Individual reporters on the ground. Again, this 𝕾𝖍𝖎𝖙𝖘𝍍𝖔 guy, trust him. Strong source. Okay? I don't know what to tell you, right? Pick your own. If you don't trust the BBC, that's fine. Pick your own trusted sources. But don't do this game where you can't trust anyone ever, and we are paralyzed with doubt on every single thing that comes out. If you see footage, or if you see images that seem to confirm your preconceptions, take a beat. Take a minute. Verify. See if there are other sources. Check to see if anyone's debunked them. Don't just trust the debunkers either, right? There's a lot of that false debunking going around. Do your homework, do your diligence. It's going to take time. What I don't want you to do, dear audience, is just mindlessly consume, chasing your tails at any information that has been given to you. When I tell you something, doubt it. Go verify it for yourself. Ask me to show evidence of my claims. Okay? That's what we got to do. And it's hard and it's difficult. It's going to take time and it doesn't feel as good as yelling and screaming and rage, right? Can we also say, right, that this nitpicking of individual atrocities, right? Funniest thing, and it's not really funny, but it's like funny in a gallows humor sort of way. The tweet of, you know, it wasn't actually 40 dead babies. Not all of them were beheaded. You're missing the forest for the trees, okay? Come on. Like, oh, you know what? It was only 37 dead babies, and some of them were burned, not beheaded. Gadzooks, that changes everything. What? What are you doing? Oh, God. Okay, I accept your correction. It changes. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's, and I understand. Look, I understand. If this was a story, if I was watching this on TV and it was a sitcom, or if it was like a fucking like drama or something, and the villain had killed 40 babies and beheaded them, I would think the writers were trying too hard. I was like, come on. That's not believable. So I get it. I get it why people doubted this. It feels cartoonishly villainous. Okay? It feels cartoonishly villainous. But we got to recognize that this is actually happening. These atrocities, we have to reckon with the fact that these people actually died. They are actually murdered in a barbaric fashion. Pedro, you keep tagging me. I don't even know what you're saying. Sorry, I'm only half looking at chat. Okay, I'm looking through my sources. I'm going through. So forgive me if I don't get to you right away. Man, just answer me. Do you think the dead Palestinian children denounced Hamas before being burned alive, or do you think they were pro-terrorists? If you think that I am okay with Israelis or the IDF killing civilians, you are fucking wrong. They are a horror. It's easy. I denounce when the IDF kills civilians and does war crimes. Your turn, Pedro. And let me tell you, if you can't do this, I am going to ban you. If you cannot say, without any qualifiers, without many excuses, that Hamas is a terrorist organization that is evil, that should be an easy one. Look, I'll make it even easier for you. Hamas is evil. Just that. Can you say that? Can you say Hamas is evil? If you can't, I'm going to ban you. Because you are a terrorist or a terrorist sympathizer. Easy. And I'm not asking you to. I'm asking Pedro. Pedro, come on. Okay, I'm going to give you one more chance. Hamas is evil. Can we do it? Odds are. Polls in chat, gang. Can he do it? Can he say Hamas is evil without any qualifiers? Is that possible? Oh my God. You have 20 seconds, dude. Thank you. My God. Thank you. That was... I don't know why you took so long, but okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Bravo. Not going to ban you. Bravo. Credit where it's due. Credit's where it's due. Now, I saw someone, however, saying that Hamas is based. And with that, you have earned yourself a one-way ticket to 𝕵𝖎𝖎. Bye. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. I am not in the mood. You can ask for a reban when I'm feeling nicer. Okay? I'm not in the mood for that right now. I don't care if you're pro-Palestine, pro-Israel, but if you're pro-Hamas, we're going to have an issue. We're going to have a problem. Okay? No, I don't think it's out of pocket, Pedro, to ask you to say Hamas is evil when you have that kind of rhetoric. I think we should. I'm not going you notice, I'm not asking everyone in my chat who is pro-Israel. I'm not asking Vivian, for example, or I'm sorry, who's pro-Palestine. I'm not asking Vivian to say that. I know where she stands, right? She's made it clear. Easy. I didn't have to prompt it. She just said it, right? It was easy. It's literally the lowest thing you have to do. The easiest in the world. Easiest in the world. But if you have a problem with it, if you can't say it, I am going to ask you to say it. I am going to put you on, like, if you are saying things, let me be more clear, right? When you say things like, there are no civilians in Israel, only settlers, then I'm going to ask you to say it. When you say things like, oh, you guys are all pro-revolution until a revolution in the Middle East actually happens before the bodies are cold, I'm going to ask you to clarify your position on Hamas. I don't think that's out of pocket. That's not unfair. That's a pretty, again, reasonable ask. Again, if I was going around asking everyone to do this, yeah, you'd have a point. But I'm not. Not. And I am never going to take you seriously again. Because the amount of anger that you have when I say retard on a stream is being way worse than when 1,200 Jews are murdered. I don't take you seriously anymore. Why would I ever? You have masked off. You've shown that your moral clock is broken and you are to be cast aside, never listened to again, and just made fun of, turned into a laughingstock, really, milked for content, honestly. That is your purpose, that is your place, that is what you are now. You are a locale that we will milk, that I will make money off of. You will make me money. That is what you are going to do, because you can't do the simplest of tasks. You did, to your credit, specifically, but I'm talking more in general. Easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yes, I will denounce the IDF and its war crimes all day. It doesn't bother me. I feel no pain. I feel no hesitation. IDF is bad when they kill children. It's wrong to do. I will sing it as a song. I will renounce it and preach it from the rooftops. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Literally the easiest thing in the world. Stunning and brave, I know. Killing children is wrong. No matter who kills the children, it is wrong. What is this? What is the IDF is evil, okay? When they kill children. The IDF is evil when they put Gaza in a box. Right? Easy. I don't know. I don't know. The IDF is evil. It does evil things. There you go. There you go. Easy. Easy. We can see the difference, and I hope my audience can. I hope my audience can say and look and see the difference between me and people like Pedro there. And I want you to remember, because I will remind you, because it's important to remember. Anyway. Oh, is my screen still on the screen? Like, how far back are we on the YouTube? Is this like excuse, like I'm getting different feeds. I'm getting a feed on my YouTube that shows me from like 20 minutes ago, and I'm getting a feed on my, what is going on? I know I'm getting distracted here, but I'm okay, whatever. I don't know. I don't know why it's different. That's tech. Kurt Ford, what are the odds this is BRICS making moves, do you think? So I'm not gonna like, I don't know. I've seen no credible reports that Russia was involved in this. So that's at this point a conspiracy theory to me. I don't know. I haven't seen any credible evidence yet of that. Straight up. Why is BLM supporting terrorists? That is a question. And people ask, like, well, are they supporting terrorists? Oh, where's your source? Let me get it up. And I know you have it. Oh, here it is. Let me show you, gang. Let me show you. This is again right after this is on October 10th, so right after the October 7th massacre. Okay. This was released, and this is a real account by Black Lives Matter Chicago, okay? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, God. Again, I want to be clear, this doesn't represent the BLM movement as a whole, but it does represent the BLM Chicago. You gotta reckon with that a little bit, okay? Why is this bad? Well, let me tell you, gang. Oh, but it's not a Hamas flag. What? They're not waving a Hamas flag. Don't you know that's a Palestinian flag? No shit, it's a Palestinian flag. But there are other context clues. Some other context clues. Right, Mixed Vivian Wolf says this is incredibly dumb, probably just low info shit. What do you mean low info shit? No, this is not low info shit. This it's not low info to add a hang glider in there. That's pretty high info, because the context, to be clear, that makes this laughably horrific is the fact that Hamas used hang gliders to parachute down and fly into the rave and gun down 260 Jewish people. That's, like, we talk about dog whistles. This one's like a wolf howl, okay? What do you... That's not a hang glider, it's a parachute. It's not a hang glider, it's a parachute. Correct. True. But what do you think this means? What do you think they're trying to signal here? What do you think they are trying... Like, no, you are correct. This was a parachute, not a hang glider. That technically correct, the best kind of correct, I guess. Let's use our context, let's use our cognitive brains to figure out what is being said here. We don't have to run cover for this. We don't have to why? You could just point out this is wrong, this is bad, they're celebrating Hamas. That's all you have to say. It's easy. It should be. I don't know. What is going on? I don't... Okay. just a happenstance. Skydiving, yeah, they're just skydiving enthusiasts. Like, we all know that Palestinians love to skydive. That's their thing. They love to parachute down. It's a common sport and pastime in Gaza, I believe, right? In Palestine, that's what they do. What are we talking about? Ugh. Vivian, I apologize. I'm going off on you. I'm not angry at you, Vivian. I'm angry at other people. I apologize. I'm not angry at you, and I falsely took out my anger on you. Forgive me. Vivian is a good faith actor. I know some of you don't believe it, but I believe it. So fuck all y'all. Okay? Be clear. I like it. No qualifiers, like and respect Mix Vivian Wolf. I don't have to beat around the bush. I don't have to make any qualifications for that statement. I can just say it. Todd Sullivan, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. We had this dark humor, okay, going on. I'm not sure how spicy I want to get with my dark humor today. Someone did a Photoshop of me. It's really bad. But it's funny. But it's horrific. You guys want me to show it? Let's monetize this. If I can get $10 in chat, $10 super chat, or let's say 3 gift subs, I'll show it. I disavow it. I want to be clear. I disavow. I disavow. So you're going to have to pay me money to show it. Okay. $10 super chat or 3 gift subs. Come on. I want to see the spice. You want to see the it's horrible. It's not nude. It's not going to break toss. Not that bad, right? Yeah, knowing 147, I'm not a moron, okay? Good try. Tell you what, well, we'll keep going for a little bit, and if I can get the subs, I'll show it, but if not, oh well. Dylan Burns is going off on Loaderbox on Twitter. What about? I don't... Okay, they're fighting. Whatever. I don't know. I don't... Look, this inner fighting drama... Yeah, I know you guys love it. I know you love it. I just don't care. I don't care. I just don't care. I know you love it, though. But I couldn't be asked to care. Loaderbox is secretly Russian. Oh, it's a joke? Oh, it's a troll? Okay, fair enough. No, that's funny. It's good fun. Nice little fun fights. They're fun to have, right? Like, there's some kayfabe that goes on, and it can be fun, right? I get it. I just, people take things so seriously. A lot of people try to get me to go off on other creators. I've had people before come into my DMs. Did you hear so-and-so's talking shit on their stream about you? You should go give them what for. I know what you little drama fogs are doing. I know your plans. You want to see me go off, and you want to see me get mad and yell at your other streamer daddy. You like it when streamer daddies fight. I get it. I understand. What do I think of H3 apologizing? Shameful. He said he was correct. Why apologize if you're correct? Look, they asked me to apologize too. I said no. I said what I said because I'm not sorry. I mean it. I meant it. I still mean it. If I mess up, I will apologize to you. Man, I'm sorry. I fucked up. Forgive me. I've done it before. I'll do it again. I have no problem with it. But man, ask me to apologize when I've done nothing wrong. Ah, fuck off. I'm not going to do that. Ethan was replaced by the body snatchers? Maybe. Maybe. Oh, God. Okay. Do I want to go on for too much longer? It's almost 8 o'clock. We've been at this for 2 hours, gang. I usually don't do solo streams, so my voice isn't used to talking this long uninterrupted. Did you guys like today's solo stream, by the way? Who asked me to apologize? Some randos on Twitter. There's 2 people, actually. One was just a 20 account nothing, right? But one person had like 20K followers, and I mean, it's not huge, but it's enough that I noticed it. They asked me to apologize since Ethan apologized. They also announced, you know what? Let's see if we can bring it up. Hold on. Sure, I can bring it up. Here, let's get some I know you drama frogs are doing drama frog things, but you know, I'll give you a little bit. I'll give you a little bit, just a taste, okay? To wet your whistle. Okay. Let's get there. Before I bring it up on stream too much. Boom, boom. I don't want to show you everything I have. Bookmarks. You know what frustrates me? My bookmarks don't translate between my cell and my computer. So what I bookmark on my cell doesn't get bookmarked on my computer, and it annoys me. Okay. So give me a minute to find this. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Can I change that in the settings? I'll look into it, right? I'll fuck with it later. Okay, here we are. Okay, clear. Don't go after this person. This person is just being dumb. They're not being mean or evil or anything. They're just being dumb. Don't target this person. Don't harass this person. If I find you harassing this person, I find you targeting this person, I will ban you from my chat and I'll ban you from my communities. Clear? Clear. Okay. Tagged. Me and 𝕻𝖍𝖎𝖙. WhickTV and 𝕻𝖍𝖎𝖙. Do you denounce ethnic cleansing in Gaza? Do you denounce the use of white phosphorus? Do you denounce the turning off of food, water, and power? Do you denounce the leveling of civilian cities? Yep. Fuck Netanyahu for his response to all this. I denounce what Israel is doing in Gaza and the war crimes it commits. This isn't hard for me. I'll do it every time you ask. They thought they got me there. They thought this was going to be hard. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. There's another post. Let me find it for you guys. Okay. Ignore my notifications. They're full of crazy people. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, you know what? I actually did bookmark this dude. Okay, here we go. Israeli-American Ethan Klein apologizes to Frogan. Will 𝕍𝖎𝖏𝑒𝑟s, not a 𝕍𝖎𝑒𝑟. I'm not an orbiter. Oh, thank you for the gift subs, Infamous H4. Really appreciate you. Are you wanting to see the photo? I'll show you after this. Okay. Will 𝕍𝖎𝑒𝑟s follow suit, such as 𝕻𝖍𝖎𝖙 and WhickTV? No. I said what I said. Why would I apologize? Why? Frogan said some such shit. I called her out on it. Simple as. She only walked it back when she lost clout. That's sus. She doubled down, but only gave a half-hearted walk back, a weak walk back, when she was lost Ethan as a follower. Do I announce? Oh, yeah. I'm good. And she made this tweet. I won't pull it up. I don't want to fish for it. But the tweet of, I'm going to start asking white people to denounce all mass shootings. Okay. Like, is this supposed to be hard? Is this difficult? No, I will do that all day. It's literally the easiest thing in the world. Why would Ethan apologize? I don't know. I think if I had to guess, and I cannot speak for the man, So this is just speculation. If I had to guess, it would be because he doesn't want to burn that bridge. He wants to keep Hamas Piker. He wants to keep Hassan Piker as a friend. That makes sense. Okay, it makes sense. He's being too good faith. I can forgive someone for being too nice. I can forgive that easily. So it's a little cringe, but whatever, right? He's a nice guy. He wanted to apologize. That's fine. Hamas Piker. That's gonna be in my head now forever. Sorry. Oh God. Okay. Do you guys want to see the spicy thing? Get what you paid for. Give me a second. I'll pull it up. Hold on. Hold on. Give me a moment. I'm gonna find it. I want to remind my audience. I disavow this. It made me laugh, but it's terrible. You ready? Oh man, I'm scared. I'm gonna get canceled for this one, gang. A little edit that was made of me. Hang gliding in. Saved the day. Yikes, indeed. I disavow. Immediately. I disavow. Disavow. I only laugh, but it's horrific. Free Palestine from Hamas. True. It makes no sense, but okay. Why doesn't it make sense? Are you confused? Are you confused? Why that doesn't... Have you been following what's been happening? Hey, did you know that Israel got attacked? I got... What? What? Why are you confused? You've been following the news last few days, right? I don't know. Okay. Yeah. That's not that spicy. Look, it's spicy to me. I'm a white guy, okay? It's spicy to me. It's spicy to me. Okay. Okay. I can make that joke. You can't. Talk about my people. You can't make that joke. You're not my people. I'm my people. I can make that joke. You can't make that joke. Oh, Jesus Christ. What are you linking me, Portland? This is a response from the BLM official account. Well, let's see what they have to say. Let's see what they have to say for themselves, gang. Let me show all of you what they have to say for themselves. This is the account, okay, who posted the parachute. Good job to BLMG for reminding everyone we broke up with them years ago and felt the need to tell everyone. We aren't surprised in the least that they've never been pro-Palestine and listed their follower numbers. LOL. This is the sane Black Lives Matter people wisely distancing themselves from this account, right? From these people, right? Wisely distancing themselves, putting as much space between them and as humanly possible, because of course they are. Of course. This is the wisest thing to do. This is absolutely just the lowest bar to clear. But this dude, like, whoever's, like, whatever group's running this account now is just doubling down. And there is a lot of that. There is a lot of this doubling down that's happening. And it's a problem. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I think we've gone through it, gang. I showed you some clips. That's by no means all the clips out there. That's by no means all that there is to talk about. That's by no means the only misinformation to go through. It's been a lot. Okay. I think at this point, probably going to call it a day. Gang, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me rant and rave. That is all. That is it. If you liked what you saw, if you enjoyed my content, and I do want to know if you guys want me to do more solo stuff, right? If you want me to do more solo streams, I'm very curious if you do or not, right? So remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're following this on Kick or Twitch, hit that follow button. Be sure to send me money, gift subs work, bits work, super chats work, all, and also my YouTube. You can become a YouTube member. Did you know that? You can buy a membership. In the future, I want to start doing like maybe a monthly or a bi-monthly members only like kind of community day. So yeah, get the memberships in. It's all great. More importantly, however, I want you to be okay. Remember, as horrific as things that are happening, take time to say, I love you to your loved ones, to hug the people that are important to you and close to you, to touch grass, as they say, get some sun, and then just be grateful for being alive. Okay. I also have a Kick. Yes, go check me out on Kick. Where are we going? Where are we heading to, gang? Where are we journeying off to? Resi? We can go to Resi. I was on Resi earlier ranting. You guys could tell him how good I did. If I did a good job or a bad job. You can let him know. Sure, we'll go to Resi Bear. Why not? Make sure you let him know that this is, in fact, a hate raid. Yeah. And I guess I'll see you Monday. And gang, I have no idea what we're doing Monday. I feel that we're probably going to have another talk around this subject. I sense it, but it might not. We might do a combo breaker, something different. I haven't decided yet. I'm just trying to process it still, gang. Trying to process. And I'm working through it, and I appreciate you all working through it with me. Cool. Cool. Wick out.